I'm going to show you two ways how to do this. You can either do a single layered cake in the shape of a cylinder, or you can try to do the layered cake where there's multiple cylinders on top of each other. Doesn't matter which one you do, I'm going to show you both ways. They both look very, very yummy and delicious. And there are a lot of ovals in both ways, and I'm going to show you a trick how to do the oval. Now, if you are doing the single layer cake, you're going to start out a little bit differently because your oval at the top is going to be bigger than if it's a single or a double layer cake. So for the oval, you're going to start by putting 2 dots on your paper. Now, if you're doing this single layer cake, your dots are almost to the edge of your paper, and try to make it not at the very top because then you won't have any room for your toppings. To make this oval, you're going to be making a smile line, a curved line from one dot to the other. And then a rainbow line, and you can use your finger as a guide, a rainbow line to close this oval up from one dot to the other. If you are doing a layered cake, the top layer is smaller. So your 2 starting dots are still not going to be at the very, very top because you still need room for toppings, but they're just going to be a little bit closer together. And there's more space to the edge of your paper because each layer gets bigger and bigger. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to make a smile line connecting one dot to the other. And then a rainbow line connecting the top and closing that top. Now to make the edges of the cylinder or the cake, you're going to do both of these. You're going to start from the dot and go all the way down. If you're making a layered cake, you're not going to go all the way down because you need room for that second layer. So if you're doing one layer, you're just bringing this line and stopping before you get to the bottom because you still need to make your plate. If you're doing a layered cake, you're just bringing these lines and stopping. So it is a lot shorter if you're making a layered cake. To close this cylinder up, remember you don't want to make a straight line over because it's a 3-dimensional object. And to make it look like a cylinder or a 3-dimensional object, this line has to be curved at the bottom. So you're connecting one of these, the ends of one of the lines to the other by making a smile line. And that will make your cylinder. Same thing for the layered cake. From one end, you're going to curve it to make a smile. Now to make a second layer, you're just going to put 2 dots from the end of this line. You're just going to put a dot on the side of it and a dot on the side of it. For here, you're also going to do this because that's going to be the plate. So make 2 dots. And you're going to, again, make a smile curve line. smile curve line. And then a rainbow to connect the top. With this one though, when you're making the rainbow, you're just gonna stop once you hit the side of the first layer. Stop. Same thing when you're doing the plate. Stop. So here you're gonna do the exact same thing that we did with the first layer. You're gonna bring from one dot, you're gonna bring your line down, bring your line down, and then connect the bottom with a curve, smile, one. You can do a third layer if you want, and it's just doing the same pattern. Put 2 dots, curve on the bottom, rainbow on the top, and 2 lines down with the curve. I'm going to teach you how to do this plate, and you still do the same thing, whether you want to do another layer or whether you want to do this plate. You're putting 2 dots coming out from the end of each line. Curve, smile line. The rainbow line, which stops when you get to the edge of your cake. And then from here, you're gonna put, to make this look like a 3-dimensional plate and it has like a little edge or lip, I just put 2 little tiny lines down. Remember, if you want a third layer, you can just bring these 2 lines all the way down and make the curve. But I'm gonna make this into one of these raised display plates. From the middle, you're going to just make an inside curve on both sides. So start here, go in, and then out. And then the last step is again to make another one of these ovals, how we have been doing it. Dots. Curve on the bottom. Then a rainbow on the top. The last thing for both of these is making this line across. So like halfway down your paper, you're just making a line on both sides, and that is for the table. So this is the table, and this is the wall behind it. The edge. So now is the fun part. I'm gonna put up this cool idea sheet. You're gonna pick flavors. You don't have to pick one of these. You're gonna be adding different designs and different toppings to yours. I'm just gonna show you some tricks for certain toppings to make it look like something sticking in a cake, like a cookie or an ice cream cone. You want to make a line on there first, like just a curved line. And if you're making a cookie or something, or even a strawberry coming out of it, it's going to be sticking in the cake. So you're not going to draw the full circle. You're going to start on that curved line, and then you're just going to make a circle coming out of it. And you don't want this line in there, okay? So anything that is coming off of your cake, you want to erase that line inside of it. And that way, then you can decorate it with chocolate chips or whatever cookie that you want. Another thing that you want to do, if you're making any designs or stripes on your cake, it's gonna look weird if you just do a straight line over because it's a three-dimensional object. So you want to always make your designs, if you're making stripes, you want them to be curved, like the bottom and the top of the cake. So if you're making stripes, you want to keep those stripes curved like this. And that way it's going to look more three-dimensional. You can add drips by just going up and down, curved up, curved down. These all can be different lengths. And you can add your own ideas, look off of this for some ideas. And I'm gonna keep it on this so you can have tons of time to decorate your cakes. All right, so I did all my details and the drips in marker. Now I'm gonna start shading with my crayon. And another great thing when you do the details in marker, then you can just go right over the marker when you're shading with your crayon. And you don't have to worry about going around each individual chocolate chip or each individual sprinkle. You can just go right over it. Remember to, if you want to add a shadow, you can just press dark or harder on one side, and that will give it a little bit of a shadow and make this look a little bit more realistic by adding more color and overlapping crayons. Now, for the drips, I can make more detail on those drips by going over like the edge right here with the crayon, and that will make this look like a shadow right here when it's going over the edge of the cake. I'm gonna also color darker on the bottom of the drips because usually chocolate or strawberry syrup is a lot thicker on the bottom of the drips to make it look like a shadow. For the cake, again, if you drew your details in marker, try not to color really hard over like my flowers. I'm just gonna lift my crayon up and color lightly over them. And you're just gonna color. So it's best to color with the direction that your cake is, not like up and down. This will make your cake look more round than if you just color up and down. So see how my coloring is going with the curve. And again, if you want to add a little bit of a shadow, you can just press harder, pick a side. Since my shadow on my cookie's right here, I'm gonna pick this side for my shadow. And you can just make a darker or overlap with darker color for the shadow.